Welcome to Knightline Live, brought to you by Astro Industries. It's Monday night, 7 o'clock, and I'm Jerry Middleton, Rick Fletcher, and a new guy in the house, Jeff Matthews. He is our wrestling expert. And Rick, we just might as well just jump right into wrestling.
Well, first of all, we needed a third old guy to hold up the other two old guys, so Jeff was willing to come on in and kind of hold things up. Jeff, appreciate you coming on to help us out here.
Glad to be here.
Let's just preview what we're doing tonight. We do have wrestling. We're going to talk a lot of wrestling. We got a lot of video, and Jeff's going to break it all down for us. That's why he's here. He's the expert. We're the students, okay? So Jeff's going to break that down. Girls basketball, they went to Southwestern High School in Shelby County, and they had a regional game, and we were there, so we're going to break that down, Jerry. And the boys basketball season, it's moving on. It's a big game this week, and we'll discuss that later. But first, let's get into wrestling, because you know what? I'll tell you, ever since we've been broadcasting wrestling, I'm a fan. Jeff, just listening to you, I am a fan now.
I'm totally passionate about wrestling. Wrestling is my favorite of all the sports.
Yeah.
There's just something about it, and once it's in your blood, it's hard to get out.
All right, so we got two cameras going on here, Jeff. Pick a camera, any camera. But I want you to give the plea right now. If you're a kid, an athlete, and you're not in a winter sport, what should they be doing, male or female? Doesn't matter.
You need to be on a wrestling mat.
Yeah.
If you're a football coach, my son-in-law, have your football players out there. It helps you with agility, positioning, stamina, endurance.
Yeah,
it's a great sport that is a pedestal for all the other sports.
And I think if you're Coach Wes Oler, and Wes, I don't know if you're watching this, but if you're watching the replay, you probably ought to make it mandatory for your kids to wrestle, because it's a great sport, and athletically they would come back and be much better football players in the next season. So, hey, it's a great sport. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from Jeff, just listening and watching and broadcasting. So on we go, Jerry. Let's get into it, Jeff. All right, the Knights had 4 wrestles at semi-state. Now you're a coach. You've been to these semi-state events. What's the atmosphere like, if you could describe it?
Well, it's pretty electric. I mean, this is the semi-state. The road gets narrower when you get to the semi-state. Northeastern, feeds into the Newcastle semi-state, which is an absolute meat grinder. You've got Perry Meridian Regional feeding into that, Pendleton Heights, North Montgomery, and Richmond. And so you have state powerhouse programs, that traditionally strong programs, not just like locally type strong programs, but statewide. You got Cathedral there, you got Warren Central there, you got Indianapolis Roncalli there. There's some real good wrestling there.
And plus, it's a great venue.
Newcastle's a great place for it. The best Newcastle ever looks is when it has 4 wrestling mats on the floor.
And it is electric, because you get a good crowd there. Mm-hmm. And wrestling crowds are passionate.
Very much so.
Very passionate, and the competitors are passionate, and sometimes they get, they're competitive, all right? That's how that goes. All right, so the first event, or the first guy we're going to talk about is Caleb Cohey. Now, Caleb came into this as a 4th seed, meaning what? He finished 4th in the regional, right?
Finished 4th in the Richmond Regional, and then in the little mini brackets, the semi-state has 16 wrestlers coming in at each weight class. Each weight class has a regional champion, a second place placer, a third place placer, and then a 4th place placer, all in the same little mini bracket. The 1 wrestles the 4, the 2 wrestles the 3, and then all the other, and then there's 3 more just like that in that weight class.
All right, so Caleb was wrestling Noah Weaver, and we checked the stats on Noah. He actually won that regional that day. So Caleb had a tough match.
Yeah, he won the regional, and he ended up being the semi-state champion.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead. We got that little bit of video on Caleb. Let's go ahead and run that, Caleb, then you and I will come back and discuss that, Jeff.
Roush, Chevy Central, Knightline, Liquid, Middleton Heights in the hole on number 3. Now wrestling at number 4, HSC's name equal. Shelby goes, Jacob Parker. He's on to go to Connersville, Austin Hastings to Noblesville. On deck for number 4. Land Woodall, your winner on number 2. For Southmont. Ron Raleigh.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, and with us is Jeff Matthews, our I guess it's our wrestling aficionado.
He's our inside wrestling guy.
Inside wrestling on Knightline. There you go. I would have to say that going into any of these as a 4 seed is a tough road to hoe.
It is. Yeah, it is. You're going to face a regional champion, and as I said earlier, most likely they're going to feed out of Perry Meridian or Pendleton Heights, and that's going to be somebody that's state ranked and very good.
But for Caleb, he's only a junior. That's a great experience for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He made it to Newcastle, and that's really great. So this is something for him. He's a football player, by the way.
Well, good.
So he's wrestling just like he should be. But he's been wrestling a long time too. But great experience for Caleb. And yeah, he finished. He didn't win his first match, but he got there, Jeff. I mean, there's a lot to be said for getting there. So.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of wrestlers in the state. There's more wrestlers that didn't make it than did
Yes.
by a large margin.
Yes.
So,
And actually, that competitor, that Noah Weaver, he actually won that semi-state that day. So
He did.
he ended up winning that, and you could see he was very good. You know, you could see that. All right, so congratulations to Caleb. If you're watching this, Caleb, you're only a junior. You got next year ahead of you, and that was a good accomplishment.
Absolutely.
You made it to semi-state. All right, the next guy up is Zane Snyder. Now, here's a guy, Jeff. During sectionals and regionals, you fell in love with Zane. Tell us why.
well, really the first time I got to see him was at the sectional.
Okay.
And I just love the fact that he was always moving forward. Okay, he was not retreating, not backing up. He was moving forward, circling, looking to initiate contact, and that's very important in wrestling. The best defense is a good offense.
Yes.
Don't let the other guy get off first. You initiate, then he's reacting to you.
And you saw a lot of that consistency with him in the sectional and regional.
And the regional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he finished second in the regional. That's a good showing for him. So he came in as a number 2 seed. So he was against a 3 seed from another regional.
Correct.
All right. So we also have a little bit of video on Zane here. He wrestled Garrett Ellis out of Frankton, 215 weight class. So, Kay, let's go see Zane, and we'll come back and discuss it.
St. Richardson of Iowa, Andrew Troy, Christian Tsar, in the hole for number 1. Now on back 2, Garrett Ellis of Frankton.
welcome back to Knightline Live, and Ellis from Frankfurt, pretty good wrestler right there.
Yeah.
And plus, Frankfurt has my most favorite nickname of a school, the Hot Dogs. What else would it be?
All right, let's talk about Zane a little, Jeff. Like I said earlier, you fell in love with him, in his wrestling style during the sectional and the regional, as we broadcast that. You're in Newcastle for the first time. I believe this was his first time there. That it's gonna get on your nerves a little bit, especially as a young kid.
It is. It's intimidating. I mean, that place is full. There's a lot of wrestlers there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wrestlers, a lot of big name schools. It is a huge accomplishment to be there,
Yeah.
and he'll be back.
Well, you talk about Zane. I think he had something like 37 wins over the season. He had a tremendous season. He really did. So great accomplishments for Zane. He with that wins. I think he might have had 4 or 5 losses, something like that. So he had a great record. You learn, okay? You learn. You're only a junior. You're going to be a senior next year. So next year, if he gets to the semi-state, it's not going to be a surprise anymore. He'll know what to expect.
Agreed.
So, good luck there. So, anyways, Jerry, well, let's take a break because we got 2 more wrestlers. Jeff, you're going to stick around, right? Dinner's not on or anything,
Not
right?
yet.
All right.
We've got
Donna's not called
We've got to
yet.
pay the bills.
We got to pay the bills, Jerry. So.
All right. Well, you're watching Knightline Live, brought to you by Astro Industries out of Lynn. We'll be back in just a minute. At Kate's Family Eye Care, we value a family-friendly atmosphere, offering high-quality eye exams. Our expert staff utilizes the latest techniques in eye care. We have a large selection of affordable glasses that are unique to our area. We are proud supporters of the Northeastern Knights and wish all the teams the best of luck.
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. That fear is the only enemy, the only thing keeping you from feeling that power in your bones. And here we are, right here, right now. Let's fly.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
We would love to invite you to LifeSpring Students, our youth group at LifeSpring Church that is just south of Northeastern on 27. We meet from 7 to 8:30 on most Thursdays, but the doors open at 6:30. You can grab some pizza or a snack from our cafe and then hang out with your friends until 7 p.m. We have basketball, dodgeball, gaga ball, and other activities for you to enjoy. At 7, our student band leads us in some worship through music, and we have a lesson from God's Word, the Bible. We then split into small groups based on grade and gender to apply what we have learned and pray with one another. After small group, students are invited to hang out until 9 p.m. when we close. LifeSpring Students is a great way to get to know God and meet some new friends. It is open for any student in grades 6 through 12, and we would love to invite you. Find out more at lifespring.tv/students.
KOA Exit 151A, registration in the general store. It's a family-owned campground with pull-through parking for RVs or travel trailers with full hookups. Rent a cabin. Relax at one of the fire pits or picnic by the pond. A playground for the kids, or get in around the golf before dinner. Take a water-soaking hayride, lay out by the pool, and then take a dip.
Do you have a big event coming up soon? Dejo Photos has you covered. Check us out on Facebook. We are professional photographers who strive to capture all of your special moments, such as family portraits, senior photos, live action sports, graduations, and so much more. If you don't think photos are important, wait until they are all you have left. Contact us via email at info@dejophotos.com or call us at 765-277-0047. Dejo Photos, capturing memories one photo at a time.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, brought to you by Astro Industries out of Lynn. And I think we're about ready to head to Mr. Henderson.
Michael Henderson.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, Jeff, he's really, from sophomore year on, probably, I'm going to say this, but maybe you know or don't know, but talking to his coach, is one of the most improved wrestlers that Northeastern has in this era right here.
I would agree with that.
He's at 285, and he was the regional champion, so he went in as a 1 seed. Tell us about Michael? You've seen him a few times. What are some thoughts you have about Michael?
Well, Michael is methodical. Okay, you don't see him really scrambling to get in position. He's methodically getting himself in position to. You can see that he's looking to. This is what I want to do. 3 moves down the road, which is a very good progression. You know, quite frankly, his win in the regional final probably was as exciting a match as in that entire Richmond region.
It was a great match, and he beat
really
a good
something.
wrestler too. I mean,
Yeah. So he came in as the regional champion in that mini bracket with a pretty good shot of advancing.
and he had. I know that he had high. That was his goal. He wanted to get to
Sure.
that state tournament. Well, he had. Let's go to his first match. It was against, who was his first round match? That was Harrison Fife from Frankton High School. All right, so let's go to that, Kayla, and let's take a look at that. We'll come back and discuss it.
Well, in watching this video, I have to say, when the 285 class is laying on top of you, it's probably pretty hard to get that 285 to move.
Yes, heavyweight wrestling is different than the little guys. Okay, because once you're in a position and you're on your back, it's a whole lot harder to get off because you've got 280 pounds on top of you. You know, he's got up on his toes. He's got all his weight on you. You don't want to get there in the first place. You know, and as you saw in that video, you know, Michael put him in that position. He wasn't getting away.
No, and I noticed that even in the match that in that regional match, once he got that guy on his back and got that 2-point takedown late, he wasn't moving.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll try that. Maybe we'll have an exhibition of that, you and I, Jerry. We can see if one of us can throw the other.
I'm not sure who's weighing 285 out here.
We weigh enough. I'll tell you
Michael's a
what.
pretty big boy.
Two old guys, production guys. I'll tell you, old guys is tough to get anybody off. So, all right. So Michael, good match. He was dominant in that match.
Correct.
He's moving on to round 2. And in round 2 for him, he had a young man, Paris Green from Warren Central. Now, Warren Central is a good program.
It's a great program.
Yeah. So they come in with a lot of, what do we want to call it, panache, or I don't know.
Good coaching, good history, good facilities. Yeah.
And we're going to watch the video here in a minute, Jeff. But the guy from Mr. Green, he was big.
Big.
Yeah, he was a big 285. He might have been
Yeah.
pushing right up there. So, Kayla, let's go watch Michael's match with the gentleman from Warren Central.
Next level, Bears Jacob Parker. And next level, it's the winner, is Austin Easton.
Well, I equate the heavyweight to you're out cutting trees. You don't want that tree falling on you because you can't get out from underneath it. You can't push it off of it. The heavyweights, that's pretty much the way that is. Once they get on top, it's it's over. But here was a little bit different. The way it all ended up is just a strange finish.
It was a tough loss, right?
It was a tough loss. Michael was doing a pretty good job jockeying for position.
It looked like they were headed to overtime
It
if you were
did.
watching.
It did.
A lot of pushing around in this
Yeah.
one, leaning and stuff.
Which
like
is normal.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Yeah.
happens a lot in the heavyweight weight class, especially if you have two kids that are fairly equal in talent. That's what you see.
So talk about that call at the end.
Well,
I heard a lot of chatter. You straighten this out.
the score was tied, and there was a little scramble, and the Warren Central kid had an advantage, and Michael was trying to get away from that. So he turned his back and was, headed, and unfortunately he headed all the way out of bounds. I mean, I don't think it was his intent. I think he was, headed to clear himself and turn and face. He just did it late. By rule, that's fleeing the mat, and that's a point, and it was a crucial point.
1 point with 3 seconds left, and
that's
that was the
absolutely-
match right there. That was
Absolutely crucial.
Was there any? If he could have, let me ask you. I got a question. If he could have stayed inside the line, even though he was turned, and maybe somehow, would that have made a difference, Jeff?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you actually have to leave the mat for that to be called.
Okay.
You have to leave the circle. If he doesn't leave the circle, it's not a call.
Well, a painful ending, but we've
Yeah.
seen that before.
Yep.
Okay. But congratulations, Michael. You did. You had a tremendous year. Another tremendous
Very,
year.
very much. I mean, he wrestled very well. He was a pleasure to watch. I loved his excitement.
Oh yeah.
Especially in the regional. It was exciting to watch all that go down in the regional. So, you know what?
Good things in store for that young man in life.
Absolutely. He's a senior this year, so he's done with wrestling. But, like you say, these things can translate into life later on, you know, all these lessons. All right, we got one more. Heather Kroll at 106, she made it all the way to the final at Newcastle, which is a great accomplishment in itself. She came in as a regional champion, Jeff. A lot has been said, Jerry. We've said a lot about Heather over the last 3 years. So let's go ahead and look. We're going to look at the first 2 rounds of Heather's matches. She won them both. That's state. That means she goes to the state finals. So let's go ahead, Kayla, and run those first 2 matches of Heather's.
Number 2, same number 7 from Tipton. In the hole. For number 4, Nathan Reese of the Eagle versus Delano Newcastle. That is on mat 4 in the hole. And from your right here, the Eagle. And from America. On top of the creature, Alexander Gregory on. On top, Jeff Richardson, Tommy Frazier in the hole. Western right now on that 4. Northeastern Television, very ready to call Clark. So your winner by fall.
All right, welcome back to Knightline. I want to inform everybody who Heather's appointment, her opponents were in the first round. A young man from Crawfordsville, Tioga. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Koyanogi. Okay, that was in the first round, and she pinned him rather, methodically. And the second round, it was Colin Clark from Perry Meridian, and you mentioned Perry Meridian, a big-time program.
That's a power program, Perry Meridian.
All right, so Jeff, discuss what you saw in those 2 videos and her performance in those first 2 rounds.
I thought it was vintage Heather. I mean, she was technically sound. She was in good position. She was moving forward, attacking, not letting the other wrestler gain any momentum or any kind of initiative, which is exactly, as a coach, what you want to see. So the result of that was what you saw.
Yeah, she had a great first 2 rounds, and actually she had a great day, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
So at that point, Jeff, she wins her first 2 matches. She punches her ticket to the state finals.
Correct.
That's how that works. All right, so she had 2 more matches. So Kayla, let's go to rounds 3 and 4. Take a look at those, and we'll come back and discuss it.
Northeastern, Heather Kroll. At 113 on mat number 3. Somebody over. Frazier and that's all the main gets. On mat 4 and 113. That comes to the
Hands up front. Let's go, we're neutral. Let's go, our offense. 5 seconds, Heather. Fight hard. No more points.
Welcome back to Knightline Live, brought to you by Astro Industries. And Jeff, would it be safe to say, now Heather's super technical,
Yes.
I mean, like that, but can technical overcome strength?
It can. It can. Yeah, it absolutely can.
Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of times it does. There comes a tipping point
Yeah.
where, you know, you can't you execute the move correctly, but the strength is so overwhelming
And-
against you that you can't.
And in that
finish the move.
championship, in the championship match in the semi-state, it just looked like leverage-wise, the other wrestler just had a little more strength and was a little more able to, I don't want to use the word manhandle, but, you know, stronger.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Shettley's from Roncalli.
Yep, another
and
wrestling
is
powerhouse.
Another wrestling powerhouse. You know, he's long, a lot of leverage, and he's been in the wars with a lot of quality wrestlers. I
Yeah.
thought Heather was her third match that she wrestled in
And that was-
semifinals.
That was Caleb Morrow from Indy Lutheran.
Yeah, I mean she controlled that match. I
Yeah,
mean,
she was in complete control of that one.
Yeah,
To
she
me,
was.
that Jeff, that in that third round, vintage Heather.
I thought
just,
so,
Just in control. It's like you know where you're at. It's
Yeah.
like being on the basketball court. You know you're surrounded. You know what you're doing, and you know where it's at. Then hey, she had a great day.
She had an outstanding day.
And she's had a good run in this. You go through the sectionals, regionals, sectional champion, regional champion. Now she goes. She's runner-up at semi-state.
Yep.
That is tremendous. So, what's on the docket for her as we go to the state finals?
Well, the draws are out, and she has drawn Mason Goltz from Avon.
It's another big 4A school.
Yep, Avon, big 4A school.
Yeah.
Now, I do not believe that that's going to intimidate Heather.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
no, I don't.
She has as much experience as any name on this list
Yes.
on the wrestling mat. So I don't believe that's going to be a problem for her.
Now,
You
Jeff, when you get to the state finals, everybody's good at that point.
Everybody's good. You know, it'll come down to a mistake or a part of a mistake that the other wrestler takes advantage of. And she's got just as good a shot as any of them.
Well,
And I'm rooting for her.
And sometimes that you don't take advantage of that mistake by the other wrestler, and that comes back to bite you.
That's very true.
that
Yeah,
actually
very true.
that actually happens a lot.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And-
You cannot be timid.
But I tell you what, everybody in this whole area is rooting for her
I agree.
to get on that podium.
Well, I tell you, if you happened, I watched her matches. Every time she came off with a match finish, she got a round of applause
Oh, yeah.
by everybody there. So she's well known, and you know what? She's earned it. Okay,
She has earned it.
She's done it by performance and hard work, and we know, Jerry. We had her and Todd on earlier.
Yeah.
They were in Turkey this year. So she's got high dreams and high hopes, and we want to wish her the best. And she wrestles on Friday afternoon, is that right?
That's correct.
And about 2 o'clock or so.
Yeah, that's when it starts. I mean,
Yeah, whenever
there's
they
a
get
lot
to
of,
it, right?
You know, Parade of Champions and all this other
Yeah.
stuff before you get to
All
all
the
the pomp and
Pomp and
circumstance
circumstance. Huh?
before
Yeah.
you know the rubber hits the road.
Now they have to head to Evansville this year because it's All-Star Weekend
Yeah.
in Indianapolis
It is
for
in
basketball,
Evansville.
so that wasn't available.
And a point to that is a much smaller venue. So if you're planning on going down to Evansville, you better hustle to find if you can get tickets.
Now, where are they playing that? Where are they wrestling at? Is it Roberts Arena down there?
I don't know the name of it. I don't know. I wish I had that information for you, but I do not know.
If you go on the IHSAA website, I'm sure they can give you all that information.
We'll try to
do
get-
they have a Ford Center down there?
Yeah, I think they do. As a
I think
matter of
that's where
fact.
it's at.
That
Yes,
might
they
be
do.
the old Roberts Arena is now the
Maybe.
Ford Center.
Maybe.
But we will find that out for
Yeah.
you. Before we get off the air, we'll try and find that out.
Well, next week, Jerry, we'll know the results.
Yeah.
We're going to break that down next week to watch to do that. So good luck, Heather. We wish you the best. You win your first match, so that's the big thing right there. You got to win your first match, then you get into the next round, and it's all hands on deck at that point. So little news, maybe potential. I know they've been talking about it. Maybe a girls IHSAA sponsored tournament in the future, Jeff. What do you hear?
I'm hearing that it's coming quick.
Well,
It's been named a program of interest along with boys volleyball,
Yep.
which means it's just down the pike.
I just wonder if they will allow grandfathers, someone like Heather or Ocampo or something like that they could wrest win both.
It's the
Or is
IHSAA.
it a pick and choose?
well, depends.
You're right
on
about that.
I mean, I don't need to explain
Yeah.
that to you how that
No,
works.
I understand
A
that.
lot of it's probably going to depend on the timing
Yeah.
of these
It does.
things.
I
so-
think you're
Yeah.
right.
Well, we'll figure that out. That's for other people to decide.
Yep. Out of my pay grade.
Well, Jeff, hey, I appreciate you coming. I really do. We've been 40 minutes into this. You know what? We could go on for another 40 minutes.
I can talk about wrestling for hours.
But if people want to watch that match, you can go to the ihsaatv.org, and it is you do pay for it, okay? But you pay one price and you get the whole thing. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And I think it was $15 for the semi-state. It might be a little more
Yep,
for the state.
$15.
$15. It's pretty. It's in it. You can watch every match.
Yep.
So you go ahead and do that. Jeff, till next year for wrestling, or baseball's right around the corner.
Baseball.
Baseball's around the corner, so you're going to help us out with that.
I'll
assume,
help you
right?
if you need help.
All right. Well, we always need help. So,
We're Two Old Guys Productions.
Yeah,
We
you
always
do a pretty
need
good
help.
job.
Well,
All
we
right.
appreciate it.
probably ought to move on to commercials.
Well, let's grab a couple commercials here. When we come back, we'll be talking girls regional basketball, what that score was, and what the outcome was. We'll be right back. You're watching Knightline Live.
Coming together every day to make a difference for you, for me, and everyone in between. Because at Dot Foods, when we celebrate each other's differences and work together to make the community a better place, we become great together. At Dot Foods, what matters to you matters to us, where communities matter. Dot Foods.
Dreaming of having more space? With a mortgage from First Financial, you're golden. We keep things simple with friendly, personalized service from application to closing. We'll help you find the right mortgage loan to fit your unique needs. Plus, you can qualify for relationship pricing with an eligible checking account. And since we live in the communities we serve, you can count on our local knowledge to make sure the pieces fall into place for an on-time closing. So stop dreaming and start moving with First Financial Bank.
Harmon sheds are custom built to your specifications and needs. But wait, there's more. Harmon sheds build privacy fences, decks for your pool, beautifully designed decks for all around your home, and detached pavilions. Let Joe and the crew do all the work, so all you need to do is relax.
This is Rick Fletcher. When my car needs repair, I take it to 715 Simharjan Parkway in Richmond, home of Knuckle Busters. With their ASC certified technicians, why would you go anyplace else? They repair domestic and imports, air conditioners to Z-Bars, Knuckle Busters Auto Repair. Call 765-488-1470 and tell them to go Knights!
Are you being bugged about your floral needs? The Leaning Lily, 927 South 9th, is a full-service florist with lots of great gift ideas like wind chimes, potted plants, hanging baskets, teddy bears, and much, much more. Convenient delivery available to residential, the hospital, and local funeral homes. The Leaning Lily has bouquets to say, I love you, to weddings to say, I do. The Leaning Lily, we have you covered. Welcome back to Knightline Live, and our crack staff got on that, Rick, and it is at the Ford Center, which I believe is downtown Evansville.
I believe it is. The Roberts Center is out on 41 or
Yeah,
whatever
it's
that
out
is.
on the edge of town, out
Yeah.
by IU South, not IU Southeast, but Indiana University South, something like
Whatever
that.
that
Whatever
is.
it is
Yeah,
out there.
whatever that is.
Anyway, so Saturday at 4 o'clock, actually earlier than that, we traveled to southwestern Shelby, which is in the middle of 4 cornfields.
Yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
And they don't. Their main road would be like Wallace Road,
Yeah.
and there's no US 27 or anything. So we get out there, very hospitable, just great, nice place for us to set up.
Yeah.
Great camera
Can't
angles.
thank them enough. They were great.
Excellent job. And so then we had the warm up started, and then the starting lineups. Boy, you could just feel it. The crowd was amped.
First of all, a lot of people found their way down
Yes.
to Shelby County. Okay,
Thank goodness for Google Maps.
from both schools.
Yes.
From both schools. So Knights Nation definitely showed up.
Yep.
So you're to be commended, Jerry. They're to be commended.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and what we had going into this game, we did our little homework. Couple of similar teams, similar schools
Yep.
as far as talent-wise and experience-wise, as far as sectionals and winning sectionals
Yep.
and regionals. Sheridan High School hadn't won a regional before. I think Northeastern, we've won one regional at one point back in the day.
Yeah,
so
1998.
yeah, so it's been a while. All right,
a while.
Nobody was born back then.
Yeah.
So couple similar situations, and for most of this game, it was pretty tight.
Yes.
For most of this game, unfortunately,
Well, the biggest lead was only 6 points at any point in the ball game,
Right.
and that was by both teams had that until the fourth quarter.
until the fourth quarter. So after one, I think the Knights were up by one at halftime. Sheridan was up by one.
Yep.
At end of the third quarter, Sheridan was up by 2. There's the flavor of the game right
Yep.
there. Fourth quarter, Sheridan kind of took over. A few mistakes by us. All right, that happens sometimes, and the Knights only scored a couple points in that fourth quarter.
Well,
So,
Sheridan hit a couple big threes.
yeah, they hit some
and,
points.
and that, as they say, took the wind out of the sails.
Yeah. This was even with about 3 minutes left, the Knights were still within shouting
It was
distance.
like an 8-point ball game, 8-9.
Once it hit 10 points, then what happens is the wheels come off.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's kind of what happened. But you know what? The girls had a great year. They won the sectional.
Yeah.
Okay. They've been trying for that sectional, and finally they got a chance, and they won this. They played a very good team. Now Sheridan, they're going to go play Eastern Hancock. Eastern Hancock's a great team this year.
Yes.
But what? Congratulations to the girls. You're saying goodbye to your seniors. All right. That was Addison Mastriano, Nevaeh Chapman, and
Sadie
Slick, Justice Slick, and Sadie Gammon. Happy for Slick to be able to come back because she was injured a lot of the year.
Yeah.
So she had that chance. It's not the way they wanted it to end. It's not. Whenever you lose at that last game, you don't want.
There's only one way you want it to end.
You want to go all
and
the
that's
way.
standing on the stage, getting your championship medallions, at the state finals. But only one team out of ever how many can do that.
But overall, they finished 19-7.
Yep.
They won a lot of ball games, and so congratulations to the girls. So we got a little montage of that game, Jerry. So we always got to have a montage.
Yep.
So let's go ahead, Kayla. Let's run that montage and let's have people watch that.
Welcome to Southwestern Shelby for girls regional basketball. It's the 2A regionals, and it's your Northeastern Knights and the Sheridan Blackhawks. I'm Jerry Middleton, and with me as usual is Rick Fletcher. Rick.
Sophomore, number 10, Justice Slick. She's a 5'9 senior. Number 33, Cami Angie. She's a 5'9 junior. And number 44, Addie Mastriano. She's a 6'3 senior. They're coached by Cody Dudley, second-year coach for the Knights. And again, Jerry, we talked.
There's a three-point. Boom, baby! Mastriano!
All right, that's a good start for the Knights.
Crossing the 10-second line. One of those lines out there. There's a little backdoor cut to Kircher, up and in. 2 points.
Good movement without the ball by Addie Kircher.
Not one yet. Cami Angie with it. And now Maxwell comes over. There's another three from long. Boom, baby! Mastriano.
Moss is feeling it at the moment. A lot of body contact up and down the floor. Knights lead 10-9.
You're watching regional basketball on the Knights broadcast. Angie backing down, nothing. Now Maxwell's going to drive in there, throws up the little right-hand tip, and fouled on the play.
Yeah, she's going to go to the free throw. A lot of body contact, but that's the way the game's being called right now, Jerry. So
it's a very, very physical ball game.
Very physical.
Maxwell drives, kicks it into Angie. 2 points.
There you go. Now, if the Knights that
Carrie
ball's
Gammon
away. We got on the floor. What do we got? Tie ball, tied up. So the Blackhawks are going to
come out on fire here, really playing aggressive basketball, Rick.
Yeah, really. It's a very good start for the Knights. That's exactly what they wanted to do.
We're back here at Southwestern Shelby High School, and it looks like we've gotten things all back together here, and we're ready to roll. Gets it into Gammon. Gammon goes up, and she's hammered.
Yeah, and they got a foul call, so Carrie Gammon's going to get a couple free throws.
Probably should have got that into Gammon. She was open for a second. There's a three. Boom, baby! Mike Saw.
All right, that's a big three-pointer by Mike Saw.
And coming into the ball game will be Sadie Gammon. Now, I bet you this ball, they're going to try to get this into Sadie Gammon. She puts it up, and no good rebound. Comes off and up and in by Nevaeh Chapman. And this one is over.
Yep, all over. Knights lose 46-31 on the strength of a very strong fourth quarter for Sheridan.
And we're back, and Rick, I'm happy you got at least one boom baby in there.
Yeah, we got a couple boom babies in there, and the Knights started out the second half. They came out on fire, but they couldn't sustain that. Jerry, I'm going to give credit to Sheridan. They played very physical. I bet you Ava Mikesell woke up the next day. She was probably pretty sore.
If she wasn't, she should be.
Yeah, because she took a beating, and the rest were letting it go, and so credit to them, they kept it up, and that had an effect. It's just a lot of those types of things, Jerry.
It takes a lot of little things equal one big thing.
Yeah,
and that's what happens there. You get a lot of different things happen and equals one big thing, and then suddenly it's game over.
All right, so this season is over. Congratulations to the girls for making it that far.
And we had a great time broadcasting their games.
It was great. Now the future, we kind of think looks bright, or potentially looks bright.
The 8th grade group is pretty doggone good.
Yeah, we had some good freshmen this year,
and some good JV players is probably going to move in.
Yeah.
And
so really, you would think the Knights in the sectional are going to be very competitive next year, Jerry.
I would have to think that a back-to-back sectional championship would be
on the table.
On the table.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
no pressure to you guys, Cody and Chad and Stephanie and Wes. And, but, honestly, in looking at what the future is, yes, we lose Slick and Addie Mastriano and those, but there's some good talent coming up from that freshman crew. And they'll be a year older, a year better, a year smarter, and it makes a big difference.
It makes a big difference. A big difference between being 14 years old and being 15.
Yeah,
Like I always used to say when I was coaching volleyball, the best thing about a freshman is they become a sophomore.
Yeah, and you just get better.
You get better.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break, and we come back, we'll talk about boys basketball.
Martin's Country Mart, US 27 Fountain City. Swing in and grab a coffee or a frazzle. Maybe a fountain drink at Martin's Country Mart. We also have all your favorite snacks, bottled drinks, and of course, sweet bakery items. Plenty of accessories for dinner. And don't forget the grill menu, covering breakfast, lunch, dinner, and of course, the kids' favorite, pizza. Martin's Country Mart, Fountain City. You've had a hard day at work and all you want to do is sit in your lounge chair in the nice cool air? Then it hits. The AC's not working. The living room feels like the Sahara Desert. Call Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. In just a short time, it'll be nice and cool. And then all you'll need is a sign that says, "No penguins allowed." Call 765-966-0994. Reynolds Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Proud sponsors of the Knights. Did someone say boom, baby? Call Scaretti Pyrotechnics at 765-977-2757. Scaretti Pyrotechnics has performances for birthdays, weddings, school athletic events, other occasions, and of course, the 4th of July. Scaretti Pyrotechnics are proud supporters of Knights Athletics. Boom, baby! Smith, McQuiston, and Webster Funeral Home has proudly served the Fountain City area since 1886. From the time you walk up the steps, Funeral Director Keith Webster's goal is to carry forward the legacy of personal service established by the Smith and McQuiston families. Using modern technology and good old-fashioned attention to detail, we will strive to earn your confidence in us by treating families the way we think we would want to be treated. Smith, McQuiston, Webster Funeral Home. Rick, thank goodness somebody called timeout because I am hungry.
I'm starved, Jerry. Hey, with 3 different Richmond locations and 1 in Hagerstown, here's a Subway sandwich shop near you.
And you can always order off the app and curbside pickup. The drive-thru's always open, and the way that I prefer it, I just like to walk in.
Here's your sub.
Listen, Subway, eat fresh.
Go Knights!
Welcome back to Knightline Live, brought to you by Astral Industries out of Lynn. If you're looking to change your occupation or start your employment out of high school,
you got to start somewhere, right?
You got to start someplace. Try Astro up there, one of the leading casket manufacturers in the country.
All right, we appreciate their sponsorship.
Oh, we appreciate it and love them to death up there, the big white building on the corner.
Yeah, it's a big building right in the middle of
You cannot miss it.
Lynn, Indiana.
So
there.
Tuesday, Union County Patriots come to town.
Yeah, very improved team, Jerry.
Well, and I think, honestly, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be one of those blowout ball games.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It was a close game right down to the end. Knights were able to pile up a couple points at the end to put it away. But I'll tell you what, Union County was very improved from what we've seen. Now, they came in roughly at 500, so they've had their shares of wins and shares of, losses, but very improved. Also, Jerry, they're a sectional opponent, okay?
Right, yes.
So you got to wonder, the confidence they're going to bring in, because you're going to think Northeastern's going to be favored in the section.
Well, you would have to think that.
But that game against Union County, they were no pushover. So the Knights are going to have their A game as they go forward.
Yeah.
So Sam White had a great game. Landon Scaretti, the Knights were off on their shooting in that game. But Scaretti hit the free throws down the stretch. Sam didn't score a lot, but boy, he had some key rebounds in that one at the key moments.
Not only did he have key rebounds, he also managed to alter a lot of shots.
Yeah.
And if you alter shots, then that's just like blocking.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
A block shot or something. You're changing how the other team is playing. If you can make them change, he did. I thought might have been his overall best game of the year.
Yeah, he had a great game. We're going to talk about another good game he had here in a minute. But anyways, he had a real good game there. I don't think he even scored, and that just goes to show you don't have to score to have an effect on a game. And that was right there, vintage Sam, right there in that game. So the Knights driving on. Friday night they go to Tri. Tri's another team. They had 11. They're 11-5 going into this one. So you're expecting a tough ball game
and a tough place to play.
Yeah, it always
is.
Yeah, it always is. Knights, it was a 10, 12-point ball game most of the night.
Well, it was one of those games where you knew it was over, but it wasn't over.
Well, you're up by 10, but you're looking for the other team to maybe make a run, and I think they got it down to 7 or 8 at one point, but then you're back up to 10 or 12 points. Kind of stayed that way. It was a 15-point win. You hit your free throws at the end, Jerry. Again, Sam had a great game. He scored some, but I'll tell you, he was a monster defensively and on the boards. He's doing exactly what you want him to do.
And the other thing is, he is not fouling like he did early in the year.
He's playing within himself, I guess is what that is. So the Knights have one more conference game, and that's Friday night at Winchester. They win this game, and then they have at least a share.
Right.
Now, here's the interesting, Jerry. The Bulldogs are the other, Centerville's the other team with only one loss in the conference, and they're going to play Tri and another Union City. And, they've lost some games that you think they lost to Knightstown, they lost to Blue River. So anything can happen.
Oh, it's high school basketball. Anything can happen.
So it's an interesting week for the Tri-Eastern Conference. So, get out to Winchester. That's going to be a big ball game for the Knights. It's always a tough place to play up at the Fieldhouse in Winchester. And kind of a rivalry there between Winchester and Northeastern. So, get up there and support the Knights. And next week, Jerry, Brent Ross is going to be our guest.
Well, that works out perfect because Sunday is
Sectional
like
draw.
the golden day in Indiana. It's the boys basketball sectional draw.
Yeah, that'll be on Sunday. I believe they start at 5 o'clock. I think that's the time we saw. So, hey, it's getting into fun time for boys basketball.
Yes, it is. So, basically, at this point in time, we have no broadcast left
until sectionals.
Until boys basketball sectional.
Yeah.
We do plan on covering that all games.
Yeah.
And I think you and me will be there the first night, and then after that, I'm off to sunny Phoenix. For a few days. Sorry, it's too bad.
Yeah. So we'll broadcast all those games, and it'll be at Hagerstown, so it's a great venue.
Yep.
We like going there, so we'll look forward to that. I think we're done, Jerry.
I want
to thank Jeff Matthews for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to Jeff Matthews for coming up. And he said that us doing this show is really a lot of people watch it that we don't think watch and different things. So, hey, you know what? We appreciate everybody out there watching. When you go to one of our sponsors and you get something, tell them that you saw their ad and you appreciate that they're helping to sponsor young athletes to be promoted in the Wayne County area.
And without our sponsors, we couldn't do a lot of this stuff.
Oh, no. Without our sponsors, we could not do, well, we couldn't do anything, really.
Pretty much. That's exactly
We'd be
it.
on, like we did our first show, on the computer, sitting there with the little camera looking at us.
That's pretty much it. We've graduated from
And
there.
now we got our whole studio and all that, and executive producers.
We're big time now.
We're the big time. Well, for Rick Fletcher and Kayla Hersey, I'm Jerry Middleton, and you know what? Till next week, it's been another good night.